Hey guys, so today we are starting our acorn processing. We figured out a few weeks ago that the acorns are ready to process. So we are just shelling them at the moment, and all I'm using is a flat rock and another rock just to give them a bash. They're actually quite easy to process. The only trouble is we have, as you can see, quite a few to get through, so I think it'll be a process over a number of days. So as you can see, we've got the little helpers here. And Maya. What are you doing, Maya?
Got the acorns.
You're going to do one. So Maya's just going to demonstrate. That's a good girl. Sometimes it takes a couple of bashes, but I've got the easier because I've got a flat rock.
I can do it. I can do it. Do one.
Can you do one then? Good girl, and there's the acorn meat inside. So when we have as much as we feel like doing, I will do the next process, which will be grinding them up, and then we will start to leach them, and we'll bring you back for that part. Okay folks, as you can see from the mess in here, we have been busy doing these acorns, and I will just demonstrate to you how I've been doing this. And I just simply put them on the piece of stone. This is a nice flat stone that's perfect for this. And I just put them in the centre there. And all we do is take this rock, which is just nice in the hand, and simply just give it a smash until we, till we open it. And as you can see, this nut is fine. That's just a little bit of papery skin. So we take that out, that's usable. Now we have one here that is completely rotten, and as you can see, that's absolutely gross, so that just gets chucked on that pile. And we haven't really dented, you can see that crate there is pretty, half full. We haven't really dented them. So what I've actually done is I'm using a litre jar. And as you can see, I filled the litre jar almost halfway. Now I know if I fill that a little bit more, when I whiz them up, it will be just about the right amount in that jar, because the leaching process, you don't want it full. And so we'll carry on, and I'll just do a few more just to fill that up a little bit. I'll probably just do that little weeny pile there. And that will do for today, and then I will do some more tomorrow. So once I've finished these up, I will take you through to the kitchen where we will blitz them, and we'll start the leaching process. We have enough acorns now shelled, so the next stage is we have to break these acorns down to acorn meal. So we're going to be just popping those into my food processor and getting them as fine as we possibly can before we move on to the next stage with the water and our jars. So to save you the racket of my blender, I'll turn off and bring you back when we have a bowl full of the meal. So the acorns have now been whizzed up in the blender to this acorn meal. Some people would also call it acorn grits. So the next process is we just need to put them in jars, probably less than half, because we will be topping this up with water. So I'm just going to finish off this second jar here, just using the funnel. It just makes life a little bit easier. Now the reason why we leach acorns is because they're very high in tannins, and the tannins make them extremely bitter, so you couldn't just pick them off and eat them as is, because it just would not taste very good at all. And I know that because I have tried one of these and I thought my mouth was going to turn inside out. It was so bitter. So we have to leach them. Now I'm using the cold leaching method, which will just be done in the fridge. So now that we have the acorn grits or acorn meal into our jars, all we do is we just top that up with water up to the top there, leaving a little bit of room to be able to shape that up. And I might need a little teeny bit more water. I'm just going to grab a little bit more water. So we just top that jar up as well, just to about there, just below this part here. I will just lift it up for you to see. And all I'm going to do is put the lids on, and the lid on this one, and I'm going to give them a shake, a really good shake, to get all of that all covered and soaking. And you can see already it started to get this milky colour through here, and the grits will settle and all the tannins will go into the water. Now, I did watch a video about this, and apparently I will try it, but if we drain this water off now, we can make starch, acorn starch, which is good for any use where you would use cornstarch or any thickener for gravies or whatnot. So I'm going to give that a little go too. It's a bit of an experiment. I never knew about that, but we'll give it a try. So I have a bowl and a sieve, and all I'm going to do is give it one last shake. And as I say, this is a total experiment because I really don't know if this is actually going to work or not. I'm going to pour as much of the water off the acorns, this is the initial water, through there, like so. And the same with this jar. Just pour that into my sieve. We don't want to tip all of it out, you know, we don't want to end up with the whole thing in here, but we're just trying to get most of the water that we've just put in there out. Could you go and fill that up with water for me? I have my little assistant who's going to do the honours there with the water. So this meal, or grits, whichever one you want to call it, we will just pop back into our jar. And this water here, whether it will work, I don't know. Apparently the starch in here will sink to the bottom, and then we can dry that and use it. But that's, as I say, I can't see much starch in this at the moment. Maybe it's just the acorns from here, I don't know. So anyway, we're going to give that a try. So I have my jars of acorns here. And again, we're just going to top that water up to about there, just so it's easy to shake. And there. Pop the lids on, nice and tight. And Sparrowies here in their nice pretty dress that Aspen made them with some of their Christmas rags that they asked for. And again, we're just going to give those jars a real good shake up. And this will take about a week to 11 days to leach, and about 3 or 4 times a day we will need to change the water in this. So we will shake it, put it in the fridge. It has to stay cold or it will go rancid. We will change this 3 or 4 times a day to begin with, and then probably 2 times a day towards the end of the week. And it is quite simple. All we'll do is pour off this excess water through the sieve again, so we don't lose any of the acorn meal or grits. And we will repeat the process for a week, and then we will taste these to see if they're still bitter. If they're still bitter, we will carry on the process until there is no bitterness there at all. And again with this one, just give it a really, really good shake. And the important thing to do here is, because we're doing this in batches and we're not doing it all at once, and we also need to know where we are with the days, we have to label them. So I will get some tape and I'll label those shortly before they go in the fridge. And then later on we will just carry on and repeat this process. I'll bring you back in about 3 days and I will show you what they're starting to look like. So I will catch you then. I thought I'd do a follow-up of the experiment that we were doing on the starch, the acorn starch, and it actually does seem to be working. But what we actually had to do was we needed to blitz up the acorn meal a little bit more. Yeah. And as you can see at the bottom here, we have quite a layer of the starch. This is the first of 2 bowls I have. and we do have quite a nice little layer there, so we will strain off all of the liquid, and I will keep this in a container and pop it in the freezer until we've gone through all of our acorns, and at that point then I can wash it and dehydrate it, and it can be used as any other thickening agent in our food. So that obviously shows that that experiment does work. I'd never actually seen or heard of that before, but you know, obviously research is a good thing to do. So the next thing we will be doing is we'll be doing a video on the next process when the leaching is done. So we will catch you guys then. So I have whizzed up the acorn meat, and we've made, well, acorn meal, I suppose. A lot of people may call it grits. So what we need to do now is we need to pop it in our jar, which I started to do here, ready for us to do the next stage of the leaching. So try not to waste any. We will just fill these jars up, probably less than, whoa. No, I said try not to waste.